My name is Destiny Schaefer. Our group, which is Group 15, would like to discuss with you today some of the managerial issues that Mylan faced within their business. Mylan is a pharmaceutical company that specializes in the drug epinephrine, which is also used in the EpiPen.
My name is Taylor, and I'll be talking about what some of the management problems are that Mylan is dealing with. In recent years, Mylan has begun to develop an issue with some of the managerial calls that have been made by Brush. Some of the decisions she has made throughout the years have been controversial and made through abuse of her power over Mylan. Other management issues have been the underpayment inequity upon the company's shareholders and employees, procedural injustice, distributive justice, ethical issues, and poor marketability for the company. This is an awful combination for all those involved, but especially for the well-being of the company as a whole.
Hi, I'm Latasia Johnson. The two major implications of Mylan's managerial team are the abuse of power and distributive injustice. Abuse of power can be identified as being an unlawful and/or unethical action performed by an individual in a controller position. In the case of Mylan, current CEO Heather Brush has abused her authority by implementing changes without the company's values in mind. Brush has a higher authority when implementing changes due towards her efforts of keeping the company a private establishment. By doing so, in agreement to an article written by Jen Weixner of Fortune News, Brush has managed to take power away from common shareholders. This mindset leads us to Mylan's second managerial problem of distributive injustice. Distributive justice is the concept in which the allocation of goods within a society are addressed. Brush's absence of concern for the company as a whole and immense attention on her personal gain is a perfect display of where distributive justice is lacking. These two key managerial problems came to the light during recent events involving the court cases on the EpiPen epidemic.
Hello, this is Jack Bird, and I'll be talking about the solutions that Mylan can take to solve their management issues. Let's take a look at one of the solutions that Mylan can work towards in order to make improvements within their company and resolve the issues that they have been having recently. Let's start with lowering the price of the EpiPen. By lowering the price, it will help many different aspects of this company, considering the EpiPen has risen 400%. It seems more economical for them to get those prices lower and closer to what they used to be. You would think these higher prices would benefit the company, but in reality, it's only benefiting the CEO, Heather Brush, because she has taken a significant salary. All in all, lowering the price of the EpiPen will help lower the power she has over the company, along with allowing the people in need to afford it.
Hi, my name is Derek Fisher, and I'll be talking about the actions Mylan can take. One, the first step could be lowering the price or the cost of the EpiPen. It does not have to drop down to where it was before, but it just cannot stay at its current market price right now. It will continue to have a lot of hateful customers and will still have a bad reputation.
By lowering the price, this could potentially bring up the number of EpiPens that are being sold again, which in return would help the company as well as the consumer. This would benefit the company in a way that they would be selling quite a bit more EpiPens than they currently are. It would benefit the consumer as well because the consumer will not have to stress about how they are going to be able to afford to get their medication like they are doing now. This is something that is vital in building a customer relationship. You want your customers to feel good about making their purchase and not worry at the time.
Another way that we can work towards making improvements for Mylan and resolving some of the problems that they are currently dealing with within the company is decentralizing the power. As I said before, Mylan's CEO has a significantly generous salary. With that being said, this directly proves that she has way too much power, and decentralizing it to multiple levels would help immensely. Making other people have equal power to her wouldn't allow for her to do things that could potentially hurt the company, like the rising of the price of the EpiPen. If there are more people to hold her accountable and be able to have some input, this would solve a lot of their issues.
Decentralizing the power from Mylan could be another action that they could take. Cutting back on the staffing numbers with your company is something that no CEO wants to do. It is said to be one of the hardest things that managers will have to do in their job. However, sometimes it is crucial that this happens in order for the company to not completely fail. One area to look at specifically is when doing this would be those who are not performing well within their current role, as well as those who have maybe not been resourceful or been acting ethically at all times.
By lowering the staff numbers, Mylan would be able to save themselves money. This is something that is vital when your business is not selling as much as you would like or during a recession. Another benefit would be that it would motivate employees to work harder and get things done right well. Right around the time employees see someone else packing up their desk, they start to panic. This sometimes is a good thing for the company as it sparks performance rates tremendously.
And lastly, another way that we can work towards making improvements for Mylan and resolving some of the problems that they are currently dealing with within the company is working towards going back to their basics. By this, I mean working backwards and aiming to become the prosperous company Mylan was back in 2007. Before all these issues, Mylan was a very respected company and very well known for their achievements, such as the EpiPen. For them to get to back where they used to be, they need to trace their steps and see where they went wrong. In doing so, they will be able to get back to where they were, prosperous, and retain their great management skills they used to have.
So, what will going back to the basics do for Mylan, and why would it be beneficial for the company to go backwards? Well, in order to return the company back to the basics, Bresh would work hard to make two changes mentioned before, lowering the cost and cutting staffing numbers down. Mylan must consider lowering the price for the EpiPen, or this ordeal could continue to go on. And with continuous staffing problems with managers, ethical issues could still be in the workplace. They would also need to reintroduce the core skills and values of the company. This is all what helped Mylan become what they are today, and they need to reinforce their core values and procedures.
By going backwards and working with the key fundamentals that helped build up the company, Mylan would be lowering the price and working with fewer employees, thus making it a little more stressful for a while. After time and adaptation to the change, I think Bresh and other shareholders would realize that this is the best for the company. That would also be generating more revenue for themselves at the time when their profits quite frankly weren't very good. It's better to take baby steps when growing a company. This is not what Bresh did the first time, so why not try again, this time with a different approach.
Strengths that Mylan has include being a well-known brand, having a strong selection of products, use of vertical integration, which gives them a cost advantage on account of cuts in costs with reduced transportation and turnaround time. And a final strength would be that they are the only company who has EpiPen. A major weakness affecting Mylan is their reputation because of the rise in prices with EpiPen. Mylan is also facing liability and lawsuit issues, which is also a major weakness for the company right now. Opportunities for Mylan include fixing their reputation problems, maybe by finding a solution in EpiPen prices to meet a fair cost with consumers would help that. There is also opportunity for research and development of new generic drugs to aid in other health needs, such as medications for cancer. Threats that affect Mylan include an increase in competition or the rise in substitute products.
Along with the SWOT analysis, to further establish our research on Mylan, we have developed a functional activities and value chain analysis. This evaluation examined Mylan's processes in which they develop their products, manage materials, undertake production, and sell their products. It also inspects the aspects of their marketing in response to customers. The analysis helps guide us in identifying the major managerial quandaries that are currently hindering Mylan's development.
In conclusion, conclusion, Mylan has gone through remarkable changes since they first opened their doors in 1961. They have made one of the most marketable and well-trusted versions of the EpiPen and is trusted by millions all across the world. The EpiPen is the first of its kind, being easy to spot as well as blocking out room for air when treating a patient. It has made it hard for competitors to beat. While Mylan has offered a great product, they are doing so at a very high price. With a market percentage of 400 since 2007, this has raised several red flags for consumers everywhere. They have begun to wonder who was in charge and what the reasoning was for such a steep price increase. Heather Breach, the CEO and face of Mylan, the culprit of this major price increase, as well as any of the other issues that Mylan is currently dealing with, including but not limited to the abuse of power, underpayment, and equity upon the shareholders and employees, procedural justice, ethical issues, poor marketability, and distributive injustice within the company. If the company would like to get a hold of this situation before it is too late, they need to start now. Now we would like to show you a video which helps to display some of the questions that Congress has recently asked Heather Breach as she sat in under oath in front of the U.S. House Committee. These questions are regarding the price increase in the last few years of the EpiPen. The video will also show you the lack of respect and gratitude that Breach has for those who are buying her company's products.
This hearing is critical because yet another drug company, Mylan, has jacked up the price of a life-saving product for no discernible reason.
I know there is considerable concern and skepticism about the pricing of EpiPens, and I think many people incorrectly assume that we make $600 off of each pen. It's simply not true. After subtracting EpiPen-related costs, our profit is $100 or approximately $50 per pen. I wish we had better anticipated the magnitude and acceleration of the rising financial issues for a growing minority of patients who may have ended up paying the full wholesale acquisition cost or more.
And if you listen to your testimony, you'd never know what the uproar is about. Do you understand the nature of the uproar?
I do, sir, and I truly believe the story got ahead of the facts.
Do you think you were charging too much at $600?
Sir, we believe it was a fair price, and we've just now lowered that price by half.
Why'd you lower it by half if you thought it was fair? If you thought it was fair, leave it where it's at. You're doing everyone a favor by charging 3 times what you required in drug court as a generic. You're trying to make us feel good about that. I just don't. I'm not buying your argument.
It was not your intention, but I think you might have helped Congress get around an issue by showing the blatant disregard you have and disrespect you have for people who desperately need this medication.
I mean, I feel like you're not giving me answers, ma'am. And I think it's in fairness to us, you knew what this hearing was about. You knew what our concerns were. And I'm asking questions that you're the CEO.
Yes, sir.
And I would think you would know.
You have 94% of the market share.
Correct.
Yeah. I'd call that a stranglehold. I'd call that a lot of control. You don't want to call it control, don't. Because you have such a stranglehold on the market, you can do what you want to for pricing. And you have.
Sir, we have had many competitors in and out of this marketplace. In fact, that just underscores the complexity.
Your competitors don't even equal 6% of the market, Ms. Bresch. I mean, that doesn't even pass the giggle test, what you're asserting. You virtually have a monopoly, and you've used it to your advantage, but unfortunately, it's at the expense of people who need it.
This hearing is critical